Okay, joining us now is Rebecca Walser, president of Walser Wealth Management. Thank you so much for joining us today. We know markets close early, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So what are you keeping an eye on in this shortened trading week?
You know, it reminds me, Asia, of when we had, it was Christmas Eve, right? And we had a 1,000-point drop in one day. So what we don't want is a Black Friday that looks like that. We want a Black Friday that maybe indicates maybe a little bit of a Santa Claus rally, if we get one this year, which I'm hoping that we will. But, you know, Asia, it's like you said at the very beginning of the opening.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were still going. I was letting you have some time.
Someone's talking to my ear. Sorry, Asia. But yeah, I was wanting to talk about Black Friday. It was like the National Retail Federation sees that maybe will be the same as last year, $942 billion, all the way up to $960 billion. But other analysts like Deloitte says that we think that maybe Black Friday will have 5% off. So, you know, we're looking to see what was happening. It looks like that so far that the stores are busy. So that's a good indication, Asia, that people are out and they are shopping. We want to look at their credit card ability to use. You know, we obviously have seen people go through their savings and use credit cards already. So that might also impact the holiday season. So we're looking for that too.
Yeah. And sticking with Black Friday, what are you thinking the odds are that this is going to be either a boom or a bust this year? Because we know this year is a little bit of a precedent setter. Everything started earlier for retailers. So while we're still seeing some of that continued strength in terms of patterns and shoppers out because they're sitting on savings, at the same time, do things kind of net out and find equilibrium here? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Asia, especially with the fact that inflation has had such an impact on people's food and energy costs this year. We would love to see a key indicator that Black Friday and the shopping season is actually really strong. That would really give us an indication that inflation is starting to abate and people's kitchen table issues in their wallets. And so I'm a little bit more pessimistic than I'd like to be right now. I actually think that it's going to be a little bit of a tougher holiday season last year. So I'm not, you know, holding out that will actually happen. But of course, we're always hopeful right after Thanksgiving and we want Christmas miracles. So, you know, I would love to see the economy really rebound and have a strong season. But, you know, I can't ignore the fact that people have had impacts on food and energy costs. And it's going to be harder for them this year to spend as much as they did last year without getting creative.
Yeah, absolutely. Just some of the macroeconomic trends and the things that people are experiencing right now impacting a lot of that shopping sentiment. While we know that last year, a lot of the sentiment was kind of like, we've been home during the pandemic. We've been buying all of the things that we've needed, especially the big ticket appliances. So that kind of pushed things back. But I want to switch gears because you were talking about indicators in the economy when it comes to inflation. The thing we've been talking about all week, right? Those FOMC minutes from the Fed, officials expecting to switch to a smaller interest rate increase soon, potentially 50 basis points instead of 75 basis points. Yeah. How important was this piece of information in moving forward? And what are you watching from the final meeting coming December, the last meeting of the year?
Yeah, it's exactly that, Asia. We want to see that the Fed has decided that they are having an impact. It was great to see that we went to 7.7, you know, for October, but we obviously will have to wait for November's number. So it's great to see that we're actually getting the CPI number to drop and that the Fed's actions are having an impact. And that gives them more confidence to be, you know, basically able to go from such a fast pace of earning, you know, of interest rate increases to just 50 basis points. So I think December is pretty much baked in. It's going to be 50 basis points. And as we see them go ahead and move that forward, the market has baked that in now, then we know that, okay, we've had an impact and we can start to slow down. It's not what the market wants. The market wants a pivot, as you know, Asia. We want to pivot back to stimulus and then back to low cost of capital, low interest rates. But we're just not there yet until we fully get this inflation under control.
Yeah, last question for you. Let's focus on the tech sector for just a moment. It's been quite a struggle we've seen in the latter half of this year with some hiring freezes, some layoffs, especially recently. What does that indicate to you moving forward with the economy, especially as this sector has really fueled some of the success that we've seen, really fueling growth in the economy since the 80s?
Yeah, that Santa Claus rally looks further away as a possibility, Asia, without the tech sector. I don't think we've ever seen Amazon lay off people or announce layoffs of people around the holiday season. It's usually just the opposite. They usually pick up a lot of seasonal workers, thousands. So that was a shocker. And it just is, again, an indicator, Asia, that we're just going to still be through this for a little bit of time. And it's just not over. We would all love a quick solution and it's over and, end of story and moving on again to the next sectors that will really bring us into, the AI blockchain world that we're moving into. But we're just not there yet, as we see with these big tech names laying off thousands of workers at this unusual time. So we just know that we're going to have to just bear through this economy a little bit longer. I think America's doing a lot better than the rest of the world. So let's keep that in mind as we're remembering what we're thankful for, and just be prepared. I think the investors are pretty aware of what's happening, and they're on the sidelines for a reason, and I think that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, we're still have a ways to go on this.
Absolutely. Love that message of gratitude, especially today. That's Rebecca Walser, president of Walser Wealth Management. Appreciate you joining us, especially on the holiday. If you're doing any shopping, good luck out there. And speaking of shopping,